Alright, so to start, you're going to want to take all of your foam board and line it up like so, just making a big rectangle. And then I'm going to go ahead and tape all 4 of them together. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side so that it is nice and sturdy. Now I'm taking this leftover pillow stuffing that I had lying around, and I'm just going to separate it as best I can and spread it out on the back of the foam board. Now you're going to see in the next step that I definitely should have done these steps in reverse because I was struggling to flip it, but it's okay because I made it work. But if you're going to do it, I would do them in reverse. So now I'm taking this batting and I'm laying it on top of the fluff, and here's where I struggle. I'm going to try and flip it over, and yeah, so the next step is just hot gluing all sides of the batting onto the back of the foam board. When you do this, you want to be sure to be careful because the glue is very hot, and you also want to pull your batting nice and taut because you want it to lay flat on the front. And I'm just going to repeat the same step on all 4 sides, and it looks like this, nice and fluffy and flat. Now I'm taking the fabric I chose and laying it right side down to the ground. And I'm just going to do the exact same thing that I did with the batting, gluing all 4 sides to the back of the foam board. So I found it easier to add the glue to the fabric on this step, and I'm just pulling the fabric as tight as I can so that once again the front is nice and flat and there are no ripples and it just lays perfectly smooth. So you're just going to continue to do that exact same thing until you glue all of your fabric down to the back of your headboard. And once you're done with that, it will look like this. Now if you have fold lines, you can definitely go ahead and iron it flat. That is what I did. So now I'm taking these buttons that I got from Joanne, 4 packs of 4, and I'm just laying them out on the headboard how I want them to be. Then I'm going to go in with a marker and put a dot where each and every button will be sewn. And after that, I'm taking these push pins and I'm just pushing it all the way through the board so that I know where to insert my needle once I start sewing. And I'm just going to do that to each and every dot that I made. Now I am taking a needle and thread. I'm using thicker thread than normal because I want it to be sturdy. Then I'm going to find that hole that the push pin made and push my needle from the back forward. And unlike normal sewing, you don't want to pull it all the way through. You want to leave about 3 inches of thread on the back because you're going to end up tying it later. And then you're just going to continue to go back and forth through that same hole, or try to get it through the dot that you made basically. And you're going to continue to go back and forth until it is pulled nice and tight and the indent is as deep as you want it to be. So once you're done with that, you can go ahead and grab your button and you're just going to sew your button onto the front of the headboard. And now all that's left to do is take that little bit of string that you left in the beginning and you're going to tie about 3 or 4 knots as tight as you can so that your button is nice and secure. And then once you're done, you can just go ahead and cut off the excess thread. And now what I'm doing is creating 2 slits on each side. This is the back of the headboard, and I'm going to take a ribbon and basically I'm just going to stick it in and weave it all the way through and pull it out. So you want to do this to the left side and the right side on the back of your headboard. This is how we're going to hang our headboard onto the wall. So once you get your safety pin through, you can just go ahead and pull it out, and then you're going to cut off the excess ribbon, take out the safety pin, and then you're just going to tie, I would say about 3 or 4 knots so that it is nice and secure and sturdy. And once you're done with that and you did it on both sides, this is how it will look. Now the last step is to take these command strips, and I'm using 2. Just make sure to measure how much space is between the 2 ribbons that you tied so that you can evenly place your command strips on the wall. And you're just going to let it set for like an hour and then you can hang it up.